Fighters that will never win another fight again. Now, this could be due to injury, retirement, whatever, just being washed. But I believe that these fighters in the octagon will never win another bout. Starting off with the first one, this one is probably my hottest take. I don't know if Sean O'Malley ever wins a fight again, and there's a few reasons for that. One, you could say he already had the belt. He's not as motivated. That could be a factor. That's not really my biggest reason, though. For starters, I know people say he's not a superstar, this and that. He's still a star, and they're still going to put him in big fights now. They're not going to do him versus like a Marcus McGee, him versus a Bautista even. They're not going to do that. They're going to do big names like Umar, Peter Yan, the rematch, maybe Corey Sandhagen, guys like that. And one, he's a guy where I think he's already on a 2-fight losing streak. If he loses his next 2, he'll probably just retire. He has a ton of money. He already had the belt, already defended it. There's no real reason to end up like Tony Ferguson and keep on taking damage. And it's not because I don't think he's skilled, but I don't know how he does against the rest of the division. I mean, I don't think he beats Umar at all. I think he loses, probably gets submitted against Umar, or at least gets dominated. I don't know how he does in the Peter Yan rematch, and even Corey Sandhagen. I used to think there's no way Corey Sandhagen can beat Sean O'Malley. I think if he mixes in the grappling, similar to Peter Yan, I think both of them can do it. I mean, I do think that Sean O'Malley won the first fight with Peter Yan. That's a pretty hot take. But in a 5-rounder, I don't know how he does, especially after this performance. I also think another big reason is everyone is saying he needs to move up to 145. That is an awful idea. That's one of the worst ideas I've ever heard. For Sean O'Malley to move up to 145, you have to think, how did he lose to Merab? Why did he lose? And there's a few reasons, obviously. But he was getting manhandled at 135. He even got taken down multiple times by Peter Yan. He didn't get held down, but still, he's not big for 135. He doesn't need to move up. And people say, oh, well, 145, there's not as many grapplers. If he faces a guy like Diego Lopez, and I seriously think that people are going to pick Sean O'Malley to beat Diego Lopez. Yes, lighter man skill. Diego Lopez, one, on the feet, he has a granite chin. Sean O'Malley is not going to knock him out. If Diego Lopez, he's not as clean as Sean O'Malley. If he hits Sean O'Malley, he's going to knock him out. He has way more power. He's not as technical, but still. And if he mixes in the grappling, which he can take down Sean O'Malley. What is Sean O'Malley going to do? Seriously, what is he going to do? We also don't know what his gas tank looks at 145. It could look even worse. That's an awful idea. He can't compete with Evelev. The guy's at the top at 145. He's not going to win the belt. He's not going to beat Volk. You could say, oh, well, you could put him against Yair in a fun matchup. Even that, I don't know if he beats Yair. There's not going to be any grappling in that matchup. It's just going to be on the feet. Sean O'Malley is very good on the feet. I know we haven't really been able to see it because of the grappling, but Yair is still good on the feet. He's still a good striker. It's not a guarantee. He hits a lot harder than Sean O'Malley. He has a much better chance of finishing the fight. I don't know if Sean O'Malley wins that either. I don't think that it's clear and cut that he's going to do very good at 145. I don't think he does good at all at 145. I think it's one of those things where some fighters just want to move up because, they lost twice or whatever. They're never going to win the belt at 135 and they try to move to another division. That doesn't mean they're going to have success at another division. I don't think that that's going to happen, and I don't think he's going to move up to 145. Nothing has shown that he's going to move up, and that would be an awful idea. He needs to stay at 135. And he needs to take some time. He should not fight Umar at all. He needs to fight like a Peter Yan or someone else. He needs to really try to get like a tune-up fight to get his confidence back. But I don't know if he ever wins a fight again, to be honest. Next up, Leon Edwards. I think he's fighting Morales, if I'm not mistaken, in September. That's probably going to be either the main event or co-main event because they moved it, I believe, to San Antonio. If he does take that fight, which, is very, it's great. I will say Leon, I respect how he takes every fight. He always makes himself look so much worse, where he says, I'm not going to fight Shavkat, I'm not going to fight Bilal, and then he signs the fight. It's like he will fight all these guys. He tried to fight Khamzat Chimaev multiple times, but the way he talks, it just makes people so mad, and he doesn't have any heart as a fighter. But Leon Edwards, if he fights Michael Morales, he's not going to win that fight. Morales is pretty much better everywhere slightly, and he's way more powerful and more durable. Leon, he has no shot in that fight unless he mixes in the grappling, because I think he's an underrated grappler. I don't think he wins. And I think it's like a 90%, 80% chance Morales knocks him out pretty early. I'm very confident in that. And if that's the case, Leon's another guy. He already had the belt. He doesn't need anything to prove. It doesn't make sense for him to keep on fighting if he's on, a 2-fight, 3-fight losing streak, and he got finished in his last 2. He probably will take a ton of damage. This doesn't make any sense. He's not going to win another fight. He's a former champion. He doesn't have the motivation, the heart anymore. They're just going to use him as a stepping stool, as not a big name, but a former champ on these young guys. He'll probably fight like a Prates after Morales. His chin won't be as good, and he's going to get knocked out again. I don't think he ever wins another fight. Moving on to the next guy, Deiveson Figueiredo. He looked awful. He looked terrible against Corey Sandhagen. He, again, didn't look like he had a ton of heart. I don't know what he was trying to do in that fight. He's 37 with a knee injury. I don't know if he ever fights again. Obviously, he should not move down to flyweight. There's no way he can make that weight. And even at bantamweight, I don't think he could do the weight cut. I think it's very difficult. I think it's possible. I don't think there's any reason. Again, a former champion, they're going to use him. I think that he's actually the only chance Sean O'Malley has to get another win. If they do Sean O'Malley versus Figgy, because, it's a champ versus champ, former champ versus former champ, then I think Sean O'Malley can get a win. Outside of that, I don't think he ever wins again. And same with Figgy. I think it's a guarantee he never wins again. They're only going to put him in big fights or fights where they could build off a young guy. He's not going to, I think he has like one more fight in him, to be honest. I think this is pretty obvious, but yeah, I think he's totally done. Next up, we have Michael Chandler. This is another one that's pretty obvious. Michael Chandler, he's looked worse every single fight. Taking the McGregor fight in hindsight was an awful mistake. I know he gets clowned for it, but you can't really blame the guy. I mean, he was supposed to fight in like last June, and McGregor pulled out like 2 weeks before. I do kind of feel bad for him, to be honest, but he's totally washed. He looked awful in the Oliveira fight. He looked super patient, hesitant, and then he looked even worse against Pimlet. He's like 40, 39, 38, something like that. He's very old. And the problem with him is he's a somewhat star, somewhat big name, where they're only going to put him in exciting fights where he takes a ton of damage, and they're only going to put him in big fights. He'll do probably like a Gaethje rematch or like a Fiziev, someone like that, or even Ignacio fight where he's going to lose. I think he has maybe 2 more fights, or they'll do like a Max Holloway like BMF fight or whatever if Holloway just wants to stay active and that's like an easy win for Holloway. He's going to get destroyed. I think he has, just like Figgy, I think he has 1 more fight left in him. He's taken an insane amount of damage. It's insane because it's like Michael Chandler is one of those guys where it's like, what could have been? I mean, seriously, I always thought he was a little bit overrated. People always said, oh, Michael Chandler, he was the guy to beat Islam Makhachev, to beat Khabib. No, he wasn't. I've been saying this forever. Michael Chandler was never the guy that was going to dethrone any of the Dagestanis because, he's short, he's very strong, he's hard to take down. They're not going to hold him down. That's not true. We saw that in his last 2 fights. I know he was older. He wasn't in his prime, but still. And his gas tank isn't good. He was never going to beat those guys, and his striking defense is awful. He was always going to get finished probably by submission or even knockout pretty early by either of those guys, probably submission by Khabib and knockout by Islam. But this is another guy I don't think will ever win another fight. Next up, fighting recently, Kamaru Usman. He's fighting very, very soon. And Kamaru Usman, this may be a hot take. I don't know. I'm recording this before the Buckley fight. I don't know if I'm going to upload it after. But even if he beats Buckley, which I don't think he will, I think Buckley is going to win the fight. I guess this is my little breakdown. But I think Buckley is going to win the fight because Kamaru Usman, he's looked very hesitant against Khamzat Chimaev. He looked awful. And somehow, I know people say, it was a close fight, this and that, could have been a draw. If you watch the fight, it was not a good fight. It was an awful fight. The fight before that, he looked a little bit better, but he still looked bad against Leon, who we know isn't great in the trilogy. He's been washed for a while. His knees are cooked. And Kamaru Usman, I feel like he's going to come out hesitant. He's going to be scared of getting knocked out. I don't think he's actually going to do good in the first round. And I think Buckley is slowly going to take the fight away. He's going to build into the fight. He's going to do better as it goes longer. And I don't know if Usman gets knocked out because Usman has a solid chin. I think it's a little bit overrated because he did get kind of rocked by Colby and he got dropped by Burns. I think Buckley may put him out, not like bad, but kind of like a TKO. I don't think he's going to look good. But regardless, I don't think he's going to win if I post this before. And even after, if he loses to Buckley, he'll probably retire. That could be another thing. But if he doesn't retire, and even if he beats Buckley and he shows, oh, I'm not washed, he's not going to win another fight because they're going to put him in a title fight against Islam or JDM or something, or against Shavkat Bilal, and he's going to lose because I think those guys are a little bit better than Buckley. This is another one I don't think will ever win another fight. He's 37, 38, something like that. Colby Covington, this may be the last guy. He's looked even worse every single fight. He looked unbelievably bad against Buckley. He looked awful against Leon. And before that, he looked good against Jorge, but I don't think that was another one that wasn't really that dominant for performance. It was kind of close. Colby Covington, he's never going to win another fight. Even if he fights Kevin Holland, who can't be trusted, as kind of hot and cold Kevin Holland is, I trust him enough to beat Colby. I don't know by finish because Colby is very durable. I do think Kevin Holland beats him, maybe by decision, or maybe I think he may get the submission, to be honest. I have Kevin Holland by submission in that fight. I don't think Colby wins another fight, but yeah, these are all the fighters I don't think will ever win another fight in the UFC. Let me know which ones you disagree with, but yeah, that is it for me.